Hey guys, welcome back to a new Battlefield video. We got quite a few topics to talk about today, so if you just want to skip forward with the chapters, you can find them below as usual. And we're gonna start right in with the latest EA earnings call, or investors call, however you want to call it, that was held last night. And this was the earnings call for Q3 2025. So a fiscal year for EA is always going from April to March of the following year, so that's why we are in Q3 2025 already. And as usual, during this earnings call, they talked about Battlefield as well. And that's what we're gonna have a look at, because there are some very interesting things, even though it's a lot of marketing talk and a lot of just wording to convince investors to invest more money into the company. But there's still a few things we can take away from here. And the first part that they were talking about Battlefield is here somewhere in between, where I think Andrew Wilson was it, where he said, yesterday's announcement of Battlefield Labs is a key development in our ongoing expansion of massive online communities. Battlefield Labs is launching at a crucial moment in our development journey at a scale that allows us to test and refine the game with the community in a way that's unprecedented for Battlefield. So if you have missed this, I don't think anyone missed this announcement, but if you've missed this, Battlefield Labs was launched, which basically allows the community to get involved in playtesting of the next Battlefield game. And you can go over to Battlefield Labs, to the website of it, the link's in the description below as usual, and can sign up for it. We had a massive queue for this during the last few days, up to I think like 250,000 people being in queue just to sign up for the playtest, which is crazy, and which is also what Battlefield wrote on their Twitter account. Overwhelming, and they did not expect this many people to be interested in signing up, but I think it's a good sign. So people are still interested in Battlefield, in the franchise, and they are still interested in being part of this journey, and yeah, to make this game as good as it can possibly be. Well, that's up to the devs at the end of the day, but we can at least give feedback, hopefully, if you get into the playtest. If you gave up on signing up, try it again. When I tried it this morning, there was no queue anymore, so if you were sick of being stuck in the queue, try it again, it should work now. However, coming back to the earnings call, here they say, this latest news from our teams is a crucial step towards Battlefield's release in fiscal year 26. And like I already said, a fiscal year for EA goes from the 1st of April to the 31st of March the following year. So right now we are in fiscal year 25, which will end on March 31st. And then on the 1st of April in 2025, the fiscal year 26 will start. So this means that the next Battlefield will launch between April 25 and March 26. I'm assuming that it will launch in October or November, because that's what the leaks had also said, if we can even trust them. But normally Battlefield games launch in October or November, so I'm thinking that we will see this new Battlefield in October or November this year. I don't think they will push it towards spring 26. What's also interesting is that he says this is the biggest Battlefield we will ever build, or at least we have ever built to this date. And I think what's actually interesting is that he says the biggest Battlefield we will ever build. So to me, this sounds a bit like we're building this Battlefield and then there won't be a new Battlefield in a few years. Maybe even calling it only Battlefield, and then they will expand this Battlefield like they do with Apex Legends. They expand this over and over and over again through seasons throughout 5, 6, maybe 8 years. But I'm not sure if you can really read something into this, or if this is just something that slipped through or that he said without actually thinking much about it. So we will see what they're planning with this game. What I'm still skeptical is when he says, as a big part of the modern development process that the team is taking, it is to test and tune everything to ensure that even as we launch something of this scale, it launches both stable and secure. I think this would be the first Battlefield that really launches stable and secure. But I really doubt that this will happen. I think we will still have rough edges, we will still have bugs and issues at launch. I would like for them to prove me wrong. I would like to see a secure and stable Battlefield at launch, but I don't think this will really happen. Later on, they also talk a bit about Apex. It's not really part of this channel right here, but I thought this part was interesting because they talk about more meaningful updates for Apex Legends, but that they will not drop that on top of a Battlefield launch. So They will keep supporting Apex, but the meaningful updates will come post Battlefield. So that's quite interesting to see that Battlefield, or the new Battlefield at least, has a higher priority compared to Apex, even though Apex over the last couple of years was a good cash cow for EA. So they really seem to have a lot of trust into the development teams and to how this Battlefield might turn out, also financially of course for EA, that they pushed back Apex and put the priority on Battlefield instead. And that was it for the investors call so far, but after the announcement of Battlefield Labs and also the small snippet of gameplay that we've seen, we got some more interesting details or things that others recognize that I quickly want to go through. So the first part is that it looks like Battlefield Portal will return with the new Battlefield. This was, as far as I know, not really officially confirmed yet, at least not from Vince Zampella, and I don't think we had any leaks so far. But in his last video about the Battlefield Labs, Flagfire, the YouTuber, I think you can remember him. He was very well known, especially for his covering of Battlefield 1 content and also the historical stuff around Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 5. And he also did a video on Battlefield Labs, of course, and there he said we had surprising confirming in the briefing that Portal will be making a return with the next Battlefield title. So apparently he was in some kind of briefing before that whole Battlefield Labs announcement, and there they told them that the Battlefield Portal will return. So this was something that I was actually hoping for. I think I said it in one of my last videos that I'm hoping that Battlefield Portal will return, because I think it didn't really had the chance to show its full potential in 2042, because it fell victim to the many issues that the multiplayer had, and so they needed all the resources to fix the multiplayer and deliver content for it, and so they had to abandon Portal earlier than we had expected and probably that the studio had expected. So I'm actually curious and looking forward to what they're doing with Portal this time and what kind of games they bring back. Maybe it's like some Battlefield 4 or 2142 or something. I would really like to see this. And what's also interesting, what Insider Gaming had written in their article, and I didn't know it before, I don't know if that came up somehow, if there was a leak or something, but I don't think it was officially confirmed yet. And they wrote that the new Battlefield game will only be released on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. So we will not see a release for the old consoles, which I think is really, really good, because I don't think it limits the developers too much in their efforts to make this game look good and run stable, because I think having to run this on the old consoles was also a problem in 2042. And we stay on Insider Gaming because they published another article where they went frame by frame through the small snippet of gameplay that we got, and they recognized one thing that I didn't spot as well, to be honest, but I think it's interesting. So they say that there's one soldier running around in what appears to be a half ghillie suit. So what you see right here, and what is usually used by snipers or recon characters to be hidden in the field. So that might suggest that this character is a recon, maybe a recon class, or that is kind of a customization, so maybe a kind of skin, which would give the impression that they're going towards very grounded skins. But what's actually interesting is that this recon character doesn't seem to have a DMR or a sniper rifle, and instead it looks like they're having an assault rifle. So one thing that I was wondering when Vince Zampella told us that they're going back to classes and they're not using the specialist system anymore, was if they also go back to a restricted weapon system, or if they keep it open like it is in Battlefield 2042. So no matter which class you play, you can select whatever weapon you want to. And just seeing this, what looks like a recon character running around with an assault rifle, gives the impression that they might stick with the open system, and we have kind of a semi-class system that we already have in 2042. So you have the classes and the gadgets are locked to them, but the weapons are not locked to them. So maybe we'll see a similar system to 2042 again, just without the specialists. And at the end, a little heads up, If you have not played all of these Battlefield games right here, the Battlefield 1, 3, 4, 5, or even Hardline, not a bad game as well, especially has a good campaign, there is a franchise sale on Steam again, and also on the EA app, and I think also on consoles, where you can get these games for down to €2 or dollars, and that's really not much, especially for Battlefield 4 and 5 and 1, which are amazing games to this day. So if you have not played them yet, be sure to look into this, maybe want to add some of them to your library and experience these classic Battlefield games. And that was it for today. That were all the news we had so far, and if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe and tell me your opinion in the comments below as usual, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. I'm the Catwoman and you are awesome.